Hey everyone, welcome back to Titans Talk, the series dedicated to DC Universe's Titans. Today we're going to be talking about episode number 9, titled Hank and Dawn, which is the follow-up to last episode's. Well, it actually very much disconnects from the rest of the season. This is a very one-off sort of situation from last week. So if you remember my video from last week, I actually predicted it right, where I was talking about this episode having basically nothing to do with the storyline and cliffhanger that we were left with episode 8. And essentially we just shift all of our focus to Hank Hall and Dawn Granger, aka Hawk and Dove, and sort of how they came to be as a couple as well as superheroes. This episode was just sort of okay. There wasn't really anything really exciting about it. We have Alan Richardson and Minka Kelly coming back as Hank Hall and Dawn Granger, which I thought was great. Not really a surprise there. It's only the 9th episode. But they actually were the best part of the episode, and because they were the main focus of the episode, there really wasn't a whole lot to sort of judge here, and especially when you consider the rest of the Titans as a whole. They were basically non-existent, with the exception to sort of Raven showing up every once in a while trying to get their help, astro projecting herself, I guess is the best word, to get their help to go and save her or help her out at least. Very kind of convenient. It felt like a one-off, just another thing that they're bringing back these characters to go help Raven, but there's really not a whole lot of things that really were necessary in this episode. It felt like it was just sort of a one-off. Nothing really exciting, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I did like the episode in terms of the acting was great. I feel like Alan Richardson and Minka Kelly have great chemistry as Hank Hall and Dawn Granger. You definitely get the sense that they've been through some serious stuff, and in this episode we actually find that out. The tragedy that more or less brings them together, with Hank losing his brother and Dawn losing her mother in the same accident. So they were sort of brought together by that, and then sort of built the relationship slowly to essentially become into Hawk and Dove without really necessarily meaning to, because Hank's sort of motivation was just he was bored, I guess, because he got kicked out of school with his brother. And we find out that there was a different Dove who was his brother, which they don't really explain how they got the name Dove. They're like, what are we going to call ourselves? And then it's like, looks at a yearbook and it's like the Hawks. But how Dove came into play, I'm not really sure. But I mean, it felt sort of like this episode was just like filler. Like there was really no point to this episode. I thought it was fine. There's nothing wrong with the episode. It's actually kind of a good story with how the tragedy sort of brought them together, how they sort of found themselves and sort of connected on a lot deeper of a level than in other sort of superhero relationships, I guess. But there wasn't nothing in this episode that actually got me excited or felt like it was necessary to the actual narrative of Titans. It was just sort of, here's some characters, here's their background. You didn't ask for this, but we'll give it to you to sort of have that cliffhanger from last week extend out a little bit longer. Like, it was fine. It just didn't really serve any purpose, at least not that I can see as of yet. I don't know how any of this will be a recall or callback to past relationships. I mean, we know that Dawn had a thing with Robin for a little bit, but how that sort of plays in, I have really no idea. And so this episode just felt like filler. There was nothing that actually was like, wow, this is great and is improving and contributing to the story, other than Dawn waking up out of her coma at the end and being like, we have to go help Raven, we have to find Jason Todd. There was really nothing else connecting to the series, and I just felt like it was okay. There was really not a whole lot to get excited about. This video is super short because I don't really have much to say about it. It was just fine. I mean, there was nothing that got me excited. So, I mean, for that reason, the overall grade that I have to give the episode is a C-. I mean, it was passing. It did fine. It served a purpose? Question mark? I don't really know. But I guess we'll just sort of have to wait to find out if these storylines are going to come back or what exactly is going to happen, because it was fine. I mean, I don't know what sort of purpose it played, but there's nothing really overall great here, and we're just sort of left waiting for what happened last week. So hopefully their Hawk and Dove will sort of come into the fold of Titans and sort of maybe join the team. I don't really know how else they're going to be able to incorporate them, but I guess we'll just have to find out. Episode 10 is going to essentially pick up where the last episode 8 kind of left off with sort of that conflict between Corey and Raven Starfire and Raven, and we're going to find out a little bit more about Starfire's background, which I think is going to be nice. Get a little bit more involvement with her because we haven't really had that sort of happen yet, especially with her backstory. But who knows? We'll find out. I don't know if they're going to be part of that Titans team or what's going to happen, but hopefully on to the next week and it'll be back to good again. We'll see. But make sure you guys are subscribed so you find out my thoughts on next week's episode. Other than that, those are my thoughts on Hank and on Dawn. I mean, that's fine. There's not much else to say about it. If you have seen the episode, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.